Welcome to yet another edition of the Stats and Stacks podcast, where today we're going over UFC Vegas 109, Dolidze versus Hernandez. First things first, make sure you smash that like button. Give a follow over on Twitter, over on Instagram, over on TikTok, wherever there's social media. There's a Stats and Stacks podcast. Super quick overview of last week. We smashed like everyone else because it was a very chalky week. I think only two dogs, maybe possibly only one dog hit all week. And luckily, we were on Neil Magny. We were on Nick Klein, hoping that he could get it done in the first 3 minutes. We were saying all he has is about a round of cardio. Well, last week he had about 2 minutes worth of cardio, so it is what it is. He won the first round. He gassed out. We knew it was a possibility. Went 50-50 on the over-unders and both our locks hit. So all of our parlays were secure. So overall, it was a really, really, really great week. One of the most profitable weeks in a while in UFC. So looking to carry that momentum. Is it going to happen again? I don't know. This card's kind of weird. I've gone back and forth with a litany of these fights. Initially, I thought it was just Chalk City, and like honestly, I really struggled to find a dog. Now, after listening to a few other podcasters and doing just a touch more fight tape. I think there's some sneaky dogs on this card. So now I've kind of done a 180 to where I think there's a lot of dogs that are going to possibly hit. Just not a lot of parlays this week. And it sucks because the lines are astronomical. And that's the reason I'm going to go dog hunting most likely. But it's up in the air. I might change again by Saturday. So just stay tuned. 4:30 card. It's not super late. It's not super early in the middle of the afternoon. But a 12 fight card. It's a Vegas card, and it's an okay one. It's a free one, so beggars can't be choosers. Let's go ahead and we'll start with the very first fight of the night. I don't know if this is going to be the very first fight, but this is the first one listed on Tapology because this was added about 24 hours ago. We have Cody Brundage coming in at a minus 190 favorite, going up against Eric McConico at plus 145. Over under, not sure yet. Again, they just added this fight less than half a day ago, so I haven't done a ton of research, but I have went ahead and I should say I haven't done a lot of fight tape with these guys doing against each other, but I've done fight tape separately on both of them. I don't even have to go into them. I'm gonna, yeah, I'll click into them. What does it matter? Cody Brundage is mental. Cody Brundage, when he is confident in himself, he's actually not a bad fighter. He's a college wrestler. He's not the world's greatest striker, but he is at a good striking camp at Factory X Muay Thai, and the dude carries a ton of power. The dude hits really, really hard. He can knock out seemingly anyone in the division. His jujitsu's fine. He loves to chase guillotines. I wish he stopped jumping gilly so much, like Dustin Poirier, but he's gotten a few guillotine wins and he's decent with it. He just needs to, kind of dial it back just a touch. But his jujitsu's okay. His cardio is not great. He definitely slows down. But his striking's okay. His wrestling's okay. He's essentially a generalist, and he's again not a bad fighter. He just gets in his own head. I've seen him go out there against Bo Nickel and look great in a loss. I've seen him go out there against frickin' who was his last fight? Mansour Abdul Malik and look okay in a loss. And I've seen him go out there and absolutely shit the bed against Cedric Dumas and make boneheaded mistakes against the black belt hunter and Michael Oleksiejczuk. Like you never know what version you're gonna get of Cody Brundage. It's really how he's feeling that day, and he by far has the weirdest run. Honestly, just UFC in general. When you look at his UFC run, it's insane. First and foremost, he lost his Contender Series fight as a huge favorite to William Knight. That's terrible. That's like William Knight's last win ever. William Knight is one of the worst fighters I've ever seen in my life. So getting elbowed in a fight where you were winning and going out is interesting. Again, that was red flag number one that he might be a little chinny. He got into the UFC by fighting Nick Maximoff on less than a week's notice. So he took a short notice fight. His cardio looked okay. And he looked okay in a loss. So people thought he was a decent fighter. He fought a teammate in Dolce Uliambuga next. Got absolutely murdered for 3 minutes and then slapped on a guillotine as he was getting pounded out and actually ultimately finished the fight. So, first fight on short notice. Sorry, first lost contender series, lost his first fight on short notice, beat a teammate. Then he fought Trejan Gore. Trejan Gore, he talked all week about how he's going to out grapple him, went out there and knocked him out. So all of a sudden we see that he has a semblance of power, kind of threw us for a loop a little bit. He fights Jacek, who is one of the worst wrestlers in the weight class and is actually down a weight class now. And he, or no, he's at 185. And then he goes out there and dominates, gasses out, and then gets absolutely murdered all in the first round. He looks good, gasses out in one round randomly. He just went 3 rounds against Nick Maximoff, and his cardio was fine. 3 fights later, all of a sudden he has no cardio. Then he fought the black belt hunter and he dropped him badly. Vieira had no idea where he was, and he decides to pull Gilly on the black belt hunter. What the actual fuck is he doing? He goes out there, ultimately gets submitted, never gets back up. So you're thinking, okay, he's fought teammates, he's fought short notice, he's made boneheaded mistakes. What's he going to do next? He's going to fight another short notice fight and lose to Cedric Dumas, who is one of the worst fighters I've ever seen in the UFC. The guy that hides in dog cages went out there and got a decision win over Cody Brundage because he kept jumping guillotine and then he gassed out and he couldn't get up. Like he's just a bonehead. You're like, okay, I can't trust this guy. He was a huge dog against Jacob Malkoun. He goes out there and gets a DQ win over Jacob Malkoun. He gets elbowed in the back of the head and he quits. He just straight up quits. So his last few fights, we've realized he's got a little quit in him. He quit against Jacek. He quit against Vieira. He quit against Dumas. And then he goes out there and he quits and gets a win against Jacob Malkoun. He fights Zach Reese. I think Zach Reese is trash. He goes out there and wins via power bomb. Like literally picks him up from when he's getting triangled and slams him on his head and knocks him out. Weird win. So he's coming off a DQ, then he's coming off of a power bomb KO. He goes out there and gets choked out by Bo Nickel. And then he goes out there and gets absolutely decimated by Abdul Razak Al Hassan, but Abdul hits him in the back of the head. And when he does, Cody quits. Thinking he'd get another DQ win, it was ruled accidental and it's a no contest. So he has a power bomb win, a DQ win, a loss to a prospect, and a no contest. He goes out there against Julian Marquez, and a mouthpiece came out. They were scrapping. Cody was absolutely had no idea where he was, getting the shit kicked out of him. The mouthpiece comes out. The ref stops the fight, says, "Grab your mouthpiece." As soon as he puts the mouthpiece back in, he throws a mean right across and puts Julian Marquez out. So, like, he was literally on death's door, had no idea where he was. Mouthpiece gate happens out of nowhere. And then his very next fight, he goes out there and gets eye poked. Then he gets finished after the eye poke, and they rule it a technical decision for Mansour Abdul Malik. He wins an appeal, and it's now a no contest. This is insane. This is like I wasn't going to go into detail about Cody Brundage. He is a good fighter, but like just bet the draw because something weird is going to happen. That's the only thing missing on his repertoire. Like he has a DQ. He has a technical decision that turned into a no contest. He has mouthpiece gate. He has a power bomb finish. Like, what the actual fuck is going on with Cody Brundage? End of the day, he's a good fighter, but he's got a ton of quit in him. On the other side, with Eric McConico, who is just trash. He's not very good. He's in the UFC because his friend is in the UFC. He's a main training partner for Jared Cannonier. They needed someone on short notice to fight Nursultan Ruzaboev. He came in, people were kind of hype about him and realized he's ass. He's 9-3. He has okay jiu-jitsu. He has okay striking, but he's a little lower volume. He is a very slow starter. And he has 3 career losses all by KO. Dude's chinny as fuck. So if you hit this guy, he goes out. And he doesn't throw the first round. So that's not a good combination. You know who does throw the first round? Cody Brundage when he's confident. This fight's also going to take place at 205. I don't know what's going to happen here with Fat Cody. What's going to happen with Eric McConico? He's not that big to begin with, fighting at 205. But at the end of the day, they're both chinny. The right thing to do is just to take the under. I don't know what the under is. It's a new fight, to be determined. If it's good odds, I'll take the under. If not, I'll hope that Cody taking this fight on short notice means he's confident. And when Cody's confident, he's okay. And I think he's the better striker. Or even if he's not the better striker, he hits harder. He's the better wrestler for sure. And I do think he's the better jiu-jitsu practitioner. He's fought the better level of competition. Cody's better everywhere. Cody just has to know he's better everywhere. So the pick is going to be Cody Brundage. The bet is going to be Cody or the under. I guess under 2.5, I'd feel more comfy. Give me plus money on that under 1.5. I might take a stab at it. Next fight of the night's another one I gone back and forth with for some strange reason. Gabriela Hernandez is minus 440 going up against Julia Stolyarenko at plus 340. Over under set at 2.5. Over 2.5 plus 135. Under 2.5 at minus 175. Let's go ahead and start with Stolyarenko. Stolyarenko is trash, man. Stolyarenko is 32 years old. She has a 3-inch reach advantage. She has a really good armbar. That's it. That's where it stops. She has 11 career wins, and 8 of them are by first round armbar. Just it's insane. You know what's coming, and you can't stop it. She has a split decision win, which is interesting. And the reason it was a split is because her cardio is trash. Her wrestling is not very good. She randomly double legged Molly Meatball McCann. I don't know what that was about. I guess Meatball was just that small. You do have to watch her at weigh-in. She is the girl that fainted, or one of the girls that fainted at weigh-in, so make sure she has a good weight cut. But she's extremely hittable. She's really tough and mean and rugged, but is not a technical striker whatsoever, and she's a little bit of a very big punching bag. Um, Outside of that, a lot of her takedowns she goes for are upper body throws, and she just seems to struggle with girls that are her size. She struggled with Julia Alvila, who is a strong physical girl. She struggled with Chelsea Chandler, who's a strong physical girl. She struggled with Luana Carolina, who's a tall, lean, strong physical girl. The small girls like Molly Meatball and Jessica Rose Clark, she'll go out there and armbar them, no problem. But these big girls that she can't get down to the ground, I've seen her pull guard, honestly. Maybe she does that here. Because she is a very good jujitsu practitioner. It's just she's an armbar queen, and that's all she has. I also haven't seen her fight in 18 months, so I don't know what she's been up to. I don't know what kind of shape she's in. She's 2-6 in the UFC. I don't know how she's still here. But I do not like that she is submission over position. If she does get on top with her terrible wrestling, somehow she gets on top. You think she would do everything she can to stay on top? She will willingly give up good position to go for that fucking armbar. She doesn't care. It's armbar or bust for her. On the other side, we have Gabriela Fernandez, who I think is a little overrated coming off of that Kong Wang win. I thought it was a little fluky. I thought Kong Wang was whooping her ass, and then she caught Kong Wang being cocky. She was doing the patented Anderson Silva dancing around being cocky, and then got clipped. We see it time and time again, and it happened. And Gabriella got her. Good for her. Ultimately got the submission in round 2 after with a club and sub. But outside of that, she's a good striker. Her jiu-jitsu's okay. But her takedown defense for a big, strong physical girl, which is what Julia struggles with, isn't the greatest. 60% takedown defense. Her cardio, she does slow down. She is a little hittable when she is on the feet, but I don't think it's a problem against Julia. Biggest problem I have with Gabriella is that she does not get up. Um, Jasmine Jastovicius, although a good fighter, needed 3 takedowns to win the fight. Why? Because she got one each round. Gabriella could not get up. I saw Gabriella get taken down by Carly Giudice 2 fights ago. Carly Giudice, I love Carly Giudice, but she is a Louisiana striker who's a former softball player. She is not a wrestler. She should not be taking her down 2 or 3 times in a fight. That's very concerning. Teresa Bleda, God bless her, is a strong physical girl that was able to get her down to the ground. And when she got her down, Gabriella did not get up. It's very concerning. When she's down there, she accepts bottom position. There is absolutely no urgency to get up. That's not going to be good against a girl that predominantly wants to grapple. But again, Julia likes to go for the sub over the position. So I see a world where Julia can win this fight. Do I want to bet her? At first, yeah, I was willing to take the shot. Big dog plus 340. I'll probably bet her round 1 sub. It's plus 1,000. I probably will still take a poke at her round 1 sub because it's plus 1,000. But will I just bet her by herself? Probably not. I'll probably not trust Gabrielle Fernandez, but I will trust just crazy play. It's just a little sprinkle play. I'll take Julia by round 1 armbar. I might also just take the under 2.5 or fight not to go the distance and parlay it. I don't think this fight goes the distance. Um, and that's probably the way I'll go. I'll pick Gabriella. She should be able to use her physicality to stay up. She kills her on the feet. And on the ground, hopefully she can stay safe and not get armbarred like everyone else. You know what's coming. But as in regards to a bet, I don't really want to touch it. I might sprinkle Julia Stoliarenko by round one sub just because the odds are fucking ridiculous. That's our only way to win. So for it to be 1,000, I'll take a stab at it probably, and that's the only way I'm betting this fight. Next fight of the night is another one that I've gone back and forth with. We have Euros Medic at minus 425 going up against Gilbert Urbina at plus 330. Over under, we don't have because this is a short notice fight. Um, they just kind of added this one to the card just like they did with the Cody and Eric. Let's start with Euros Medic because that's originally, I think, is Urich by KO early, round one KO, easy money. Urich is 32 years old. He has good striking. He has a ton of power. But he's 2-2 as a welterweight. He used to fight at lightweight and he was a size bully and he was knocking everyone out. But he has bad cardio. His jiu-jitsu is not great. He throws a ton of volume, but again, he gasses out doing so. His L's are good. Losing to people like Mitbek Oralby, losing to people like Punahali Sariano, losing to people like Jalen Turner is fine. The problem I have are his wins. His wins are over a retiring Omer Morales, Matthew Semmelsberger, and 40-year-old Tim Means. So he's not beaten anyone good. I'm sorry, he also beat Elon Cruz. Excuse me. So he does not have any good wins. He has good losses. So where does Urbina fall in the middle there? Because he is just a power puncher who gasses out. He has to get you out early. He has a 100% finish rate. He's never seen the judge's scorecard, nor is he interested. He goes for broke right away. He's a good distance striker. He doesn't like to just sprawl and brawl. I mean, he is a little chinny. I've seen him rocked multiple times. Matthew Semmersberger almost put him out. I saw Puna put him out. This dude does have a little bit of a chin problem. On the other side, we have Gilbert Urbina, who has an even bigger chin problem. He's 29 years old. He has a 4-inch reach advantage, which is nice. He's a legacy fighter, as someone where like both of his older brothers were in the UFC or in the Ultimate Fighter or what have you. Definitely MMA related. They have an MMA owned gym by their family. And overall, he's a generalist. He credits himself as a grappler. I think most of his wins are by KO, but he's a grappler. He has okay wrestling. He has good jiu-jitsu. He has okay striking. He has a nice little stabbing teep to the body that he knocked out Orion Koski with, that he uses quite a bit in all of his fights. The problem with him is he does throw a ton of volume, just like Medic. He can match that. But he matches Medic's chin. It might be worse. He has really bad optics when he gets hit. No one likes to get hit, but when he gets hit, he backs up and it looks real bad to the judges. In addition, he slows down in his fights. So this is seemingly a mirror match. Only difference is Medic hits a lot harder, and Urbina is the better grappler. That's what it comes down to. This fight, again, is on short notice. Urbina will have that reach advantage, and they do like to fight at distance. His losses, decent fighters too. Charlie Radke's not great, but he marched him down, got inside the pocket, and cleaned his clock. That is not the way Medic strikes. Medic likes to strike at distance. Brian Battle, he went out there and dropped Brian Battle, and Brian Battle's pretty durable. And he almost finished the fight, but then he gassed out. He took the fight on 1 week's notice, up a weight class, by the way, but then he gassed out, so it is what it is. Sean Brady, that's a fair loss. Sean Brady's a top three welterweight in the world. So those are all fine. Teresian Gore on the Ultimate Fighter is not. That's scary. You should not be getting knocked out by that guy. So I think Urbina is the more talented fighter. I think it's close on the feet, but I'll say Medic. On the ground, it's not even close. It's Urbina. And in regards to wrestling, it's Urbina. In regards to cardio, it's Urbina. In regards to chin, neither. They're both trash. So what you really want to do is take the under, whatever that's going to be. Hopefully they give us a 2.5 and not a 1.5. But the line, Euros, Medic, minus 425. I wrote in my notes, Medic, the bet, I said under or dog. Plus 330, that is enough to wet my whistle. I will be betting Gilbert Urbina for some godforsaken reason. This is one I flipped on. And honestly, I might bet his KO. I'm pretty sure I saw his KO at like plus 1,000 or plus 1,200 or something crazy like that. I could see a ground and pound finish. I really could. I could see Medich going out there and getting tired, or Medich getting clipped. Medich just got knocked out in 30 seconds. Like his chin is not good. Urbina could catch him. Urbina could take him down and ground and pound him. I see a earlier Urbina finish, and that's the way I'm looking at it. So the pick is going to be Medich. I think he catches him. I think he should knock out Urbina. But with these odds, I'm going to go ahead and bet Urbina, and I'll probably bet him by KO at those odds as well. Next fight of the night is one where we're not going to dog hunt. We're going to trust the read, and I think it's one of the best plays on the card. We have Jocelyn Edwards at minus 340 going up against Priscilla Cachoeira at plus 270. Over under set at 2.5. Over 2.5 minus 215. Under 2.5 at plus 165. I'm sitting here calling her a lock, so let's start with Jocelyn Edwards. Jocelyn Edwards is 29 years old. She'll have a 5-inch reach advantage. She is improving. Last week, I talked about how I don't like Piera Rodriguez, but I have to give the devil her due. She is improving each and every fight, and I can see the improvements, and I can see her becoming a real prospect. Same thing for Jocelyn Edwards. When Jocelyn Edwards first came into the UFC, she couldn't wrestle for shit. She had no idea what a takedown even was. She could not spell BJJ. She was terrible. She was a one-dimensional striker with zero power whatsoever. That's what she was. She was a volume striker with no power, and they let her in the UFC just because she's the first one from Panama or what have you. She has evolved, man. It's been years since she's been in the UFC, and she's good now. She's coming off of her, I think, her first career submission victory over Tamara's Vidal. Her wrestling has improved considerably. Her fight IQ is good. I see her going out there and wrestling against strikers and striking against wrestlers. Her cardio, she used to get really, really tired. It's gotten much better. Watch weigh-ins because she has missed weight in like half of her fights. But she's made weight the last two. She's starting to master the weight cut as well. She's doing everything right. She has good fight IQ. She has good fight IQ. She has good striking. She has okay jujitsu. She has okay wrestling. She has okay cardio. All of this really, she started training with Valentina Shevchenko about 2 or 3 fights ago, and all of a sudden she's a grappler. All of a sudden she has good fight IQ. I think Valentina changed her career trajectory. She did. She absolutely did. And La Pantera is someone that I can actually back with my money now. I want to do it contingent on who she's fighting. Like, let's not get crazy. I'm not calling her a world title challenger, but if you give her the right opponent, I think she'll go out there and make it look easy. And she got the perfect opponent in Priscilla Cachoeira. Priscilla Cachoeira is 36 years old, so she is old. She has okay striking with a ton of power. She hits really, really, really hard. She throws a ton of volume, but she gets hit like I've never seen before. Striking defense, usually I say, is optional for some people. Striking defense for Priscilla is non-existent. She doesn't know what it is. It's a little different when you choose not to do it. She doesn't know how to do it. She literally blocks punches with her face. I've seen her in a fight put her chin out and ask you to hit her. And believe me, her opponents oblige. They have no problem doing so. She has 63% takedown defense to boot. So if you want to punch her in the face, you can. If you want to take her down, you can. If you want to submit her, she has 4 submission losses on her record. You can. She slows down in her fights. She doesn't gas out. She's all heart. She will keep fighting, but at a very considerable slower rate. She does slow down quite a bit. She's a cheater. She's eye gouged people. She's pulled hair. She's low blowed. She's done everything she can whenever she needs to make sure that she's not getting finished, and she still is. And the biggest thing here, I think, is the weigh-ins. Usually I say watch Edwards weigh-ins because she comes in really, really, really big and has a few fights up at 145. Catarera misses weight all the time at 125. She moved up to 135 in her last fight. And this fight is again up at 135. So definitely be cognizant of weigh-ins. She's going to be huge. She's going to be very, very small compared to Huge Edwards. She's even if they match up fine, like height wise, again, a 5-inch reach advantage for Edwards, and she is a thick girl. She's very, very, very thick. Cachoeira, she's coming up a weight class at 36 years old. It's a one-dimensional striker that gets punched in the face. And again, 63% takedown defense against girls that are smaller than her. Edwards is going to be bigger than her. What happens when Edwards just literally grabs a hold of her and drags her down to the ground? the girl that keeps working on her ground game and has good fight IQ. You keep watching Cachoeira get murdered on the ground. Why would Jocelyn not just do the same? So for that reason, if it stays on the feet, Jocelyn's a cleaner striker. And she's added a little power, and she'll sit down on her strikes now. If they want to go down to the ground, Jocelyn's the better grappler. She's a better wrestler. She dictates where this fight takes place. If they do end up going down to the ground, Jocelyn's the better jiu-jitsu practitioner. She has enough ability now to sub Cachoeira. I don't see where Cachoeira is better. Jocelyn has the better cardio, the better striking, the better wrestling, the better jiu-jitsu, the honestly the better level of competition. She's the younger fighter. She's not in her 30s. It's Jocelyn all day. The pick is Jocelyn Edwards. The bet is Jocelyn Edwards. Next fight of the night. We could stay safe or we can get crazy. We have Elijah Smith at minus 700 now, going up against Toshiomi Kazama at plus 500. Over under set at 1.5. Over 1.5 plus 100. Under 1.5 at minus 130. Let's start with Kazama. I think he's one of the worst bantamweights in the UFC. He's coming off of road to UFC and has fought absolutely no one. He has no good wins on his record. Best win on his record is Galar. Oh God, Champios, the guys that trains over at Longo MMA. What's his name? Charlampos Galar. I can't. Why can I not say it? I'm sorry, my allergies are acting up. Charlampos Gregorio. Excuse me. And Charlampos beat the absolute shit out of him, gassed out, and then Kazama snapped on like one of the ugliest triangles I've ever seen in my life. He has good jiu-jitsu, but his wrestling's trash. His striking is non-existent. He literally is one of these guys, Bryce Mitchell style, that will not. Well, Bryce will strike sometimes, but I don't know who I'm trying to think. Torres Finney style, where he is not going to even strike. He's just going to pressure forward and grab a hold of your leg. Head down, dive at the legs. But he's not a good wrestler. That's the problem. His jiu-jitsu is good. Can't get it down to the ground. If you happen to keep him on the feet, you're going to clip him. He has a terrible, terrible, terrible chin. He has 4 career losses. They might all be by KO. Round one KO, round one KO, one decision in his very first fight, and then a round two KO. So he has 4 losses and 3 of them are by KO. So he has bad wrestling, he has a bad chin, he has bad cardio, he has a bad level of competition. He's a pressure grappler who wants to get you down to the ground and try to sub you. That's all he can do. Elijah Smith, on the other hand, is the complete package. He's just young. He's 22 years old. He has a 2-inch reach advantage. He is the son of a former Ultimate Fighter contestant, so he's been in the game a while. His dad has been a part of the UFC for a long time. He has good wrestling. He is okay jiu-jitsu. He has good striking. And he blends the arts really, really, really well. It's not one of these young kids that's either wrestling or he's striking or he's just trying to work his grappling. Like he can sit there and strike with you and then mix in a double leg. He can sit there and sprawl and then hit you with the 3-piece combination. You can snatch up his neck. He can do all the right things to stay safe and then get back on top of you. Like he does everything well. Problem I have with him is his cardio. He does slow down in every single one of his fights. Eventually, someone's going to capitalize on that. He's a little hittable when he's on the feet, but that doesn't matter against Kazama because he doesn't know how to throw a punch. And he has a 66% takedown defense, but it's on a very small sample size. And most of those takedowns are when he's dog tired in the third round. That's when he's getting taken down a lot. So it's not that his takedown defense is bad, it's that he gets tired and then you can take him down to the ground. So it's interesting. You can back him up a little, which scares me because Kazama is a pressure grappler and he's just going to want to push forward and push him up against the cage. I could see a lot of this fight taking place around the cage. And for that reason, I'm thinking about going crazy and taking the over. There is a chance that Kazama just literally holds him against the cage. And then eventually that over 1.5 at plus money hits. There's also a possibility that he holds him against the cage, the ref separates them, and then Elijah nukes him right away. That's also a possibility. I think it's pretty 50-50. So for that reason, I think the safest thing to do is to just get Elijah in there. But I don't like him at minus 700. That's a little too much for a 22-year-old kid. So you're kind of forced to play the over under. What I'll probably do is eat some chalk. I'll take the under 2.5. I do not see this thing getting going the distance. I can see the over 1.5, but I cannot see it going the distance. So I'll go ahead. I'll pick Elijah, but I'm not betting him at minus 700. I'll take the alt line at under 2.5, just in case Kazama takes a lot of time off the clock by holding him up against the cage for God, just to hang on for dear life. Next fight of the night is the main event of the evening in most people's eyes. I know that Roman and Anthony Hernandez are on the cover or on the poster, but there's one reason people are going to be in the UFC Apex on Saturday, and that is for one man and one man only. And the reason I've had my computer go down today, my computer officially died. I had a podcast, had to re-record right now at a different location. I'm not where I usually record. I'm recording on my wife's computer while under the weather, late at night, refilming everything. Why? Because I am not missing this fight week. Why? Because the GOAT is fighting our guy. Juice box. Julius Walker. 6-1. Should be 7-0. Fuck it. It is what it is. Juice box minus 675. Rafael Sequeira plus 490. Over under set at 1.5. Over 1.5 plus 175. Under 1.5 minus 230. I really don't even want to go over Sequeira. Actually, fuck that. This is the juice box show. We're not going to go over Sequeira. What I'm going to tell you about Sequeira is that he's 35 years old. He is apparently a BJJ black belt, but we're yet to see his grappling anywhere in the UFC because he gets knocked out too damn fast. His chin's ass. His cardio's trash. His level of competition is god awful. He's very easily backed up. He does not enjoy getting punched in the face at all, partially because he knows he's going to go out. Modestus Bukakas knocked you out in round one. Juice Boxing to put you in a fucking body bag. He tries to rope a dope in some of his fights, I noticed. Like he'll let people punch him to the body and just cover up, and then try to finish them. It's not going to work against Juicebox. Let me tell you why. Because Juicebox is a 205 pounder with cardio. That's a rarity. Juicebox is going to have a 2-inch reach advantage. Juicebox has good striking with decent power. He's not the hardest puncher in the world, but if you give him the chance to crack, he'll put your lights out. His wrestling, not bad. He sprinkles it in. For someone that is a college basketball player, this dude is the total package. A lot of these guys are athletes or they're fighters. This guy's both. He throws a ton of volume. His jiu-jitsu checks out, especially at 205. There's not a lot of good grapplers at 205. And Juicebox has enough at 205, even at 26 years old. That's the thing. That's the scary thing. This kid's going to get better. This is not the finished product. Sequeira's 35. He's an old man, probably has grandkids at this point. This is the finished product. He's in the UFC because he's Jailton Almeida's buddy. That is we just talked about McConaughey being in the UFC because of Jared Cannonier. If Jailton Almeida didn't exist, Rafael Sequeira does not exist in the UFC. Deucebox got to the UFC on his own merit. His only loss coming to Alonzo Menefield, who was a ranked contender on a week's notice, losing a split decision. Shit's real. Dude's sweet. Better yet, he's just a good dude. He's coming on a lot of podcasts. He interacts. He's very, very active on social media. Just dude just wants to fight, talk about his kids and basketball. Dude's just one of the boys. And I will support him until the end of time. I have no idea where my Juicebox t-shirt went. I had to rock a Raw Dog one today. But I'll find it. I don't know where it is, or I'll just fucking put the house on Juicebox like he said to on Clint's podcast, and I'll go ahead and I'll buy a new t-shirt. How about that? So at the end of the day, support him, buy his merch. You can get it over on a website. I'll probably leave the link in the description. Otherwise, he is minus 625 for a reason. He's he's a future champion for a reason, and he will be a part of the GOAT conversation for a reason. Juicebox is the pick. Juicebox by absolute murder is the bet. However he sees fit. Next fight of the night, we have Eric ya boy Anders at plus 425 going up against Christian Leroy Duncan at minus 575. Over under set at 2.5. Over 2.5 minus 190. Under 2.5 at plus 145. Let's start with ya boy. Ya boy scares me. You know what? No. fuck that. Let's start with Christian Leroy Duncan. Let's backtrack a little. CLD is 30 years old. He's going to have a 4-inch reach advantage. He has good striking, shockingly good cardio for someone at 185 and his stature. The level of competition's okay. He's a Cage Warriors guy, so they're decent, but they're not really UFC caliber, most of them. His jiu-jitsu is not great. He doesn't like getting hit at all. We watched him get popped by Gregory Rodriguez, and he just kind of backed up and literally ran away. He does not. He has a big old noggin on him, and he doesn't like when it gets touched. I mean, no one likes to get punched in the face. Let's be real. But some people eat it and then come back and throw back. He ain't throwing back. He ain't countering. He's gonna back up and fight you at distance, and he's creative out there. He's throwing wild. Like standing hammer fists and flying knees and spinning back kicks and just leg kicks from through your legs. Like he throws wild shit out there. He's just getting creative and he's having fun. He's not out there to fight you. Excuse me, my dog is here. He is not there to fight you. He is there to essentially spar. He kind of reminds me of like a Sean Strickland being out there just sparring the entire time. He's not like out there for blood and guts. He wants no part of a war. He wants a nice, clean sparring fight. Is he good at that? Fuck yeah. He's really creative and he's a really good striker and has a decent amount of power on him. But if you bring the pressure and you bring the fight, he can wilt a little bit. That's what happened in both of his losses. On to your boy Eric Anders. Give me 1 second. Let me take care of that squeaking. 1 second. Again, I apologize. I had to record at a different location. It is what it is. Could have hit the pause. A lot of shit going on with my wife's computer. So at the end of the day, we'll go ahead with your boy Eric Anders. Eric Anders is probably CLD's kryptonite. He has okay striking. He has okay wrestling. He is a BJJ black belt at this point, I'm pretty sure. He loves to bring a ton of pressure. He's very physically strong. And he is not against just holding you up against the cage and clinching the entire time, which is what CLD wants no part of. CLD wants space. CLD wants to throw a lot of flashy kicks. Eric Anders wants to be in your fucking face, to throw inside the pocket or to just clinch you up and take you down. Two polar opposites. This line is way too wide. I think Eric Anders is extremely live. I'm going to bet Eric Anders, and then you do more digging. 3 consecutive fights, my guy has been dropped on his ass, and that's by old man Chris Weidman. That's by freaking old retiring Jamie Pickett. That's by oh God, Mark Andre Burrio. None of them are power punchers. Like he's probably the only knockdown. Well, Chris Weidman, yes, but not at this old age. At that point, he's probably like the only knockdown Jamie Pickett has in the UFC. Probably the only knockdown that MAB has in the UFC. They're not power punchers at all, and they keep dropping him. I think part of the reason he's getting dropped as of late is because the dude's 38 years old. He's old. He's been through a lot of wars. His chin is starting to deteriorate. That's a little scary. Then I hear that it's his retirement fight, and you never bet retiring fighters ever. You would make so much money just fading people in their retirement fight. Daniel Cormier, Dustin Poirier, just anyone you can think of that's announced their Lauren Murphy, anyone that announces they're retiring beforehand, always lose their fights, and they always give them like a young killer. The UFC always gives them a young killer to put them out of their misery, essentially. And then I thought that retiring was the worst thing you could do as a UFC fighter. There's only one thing that trumps being a retiring fighter. That's being a real estate agent. Man, it ends careers. Al Quinta obviously is the biggest one. James Krause, Chaos Williams hasn't won a fight since he became a real estate agent. Eric Anders is now a real estate agent. Yeah, 38, retiring, already have your new job ready. Not a good look. I want to bet Eric Anders. I really do think Eric Anders can clinch his way to a split decision win. I could see this there in the small cage. I could see this 110%, especially 3 years ago. 38-year-old Eric Anders on his retirement tour, thinking about the houses he's selling. I don't know if I can do it. To be determined. Right now, the pick is going to be CLD. He should go out there and kill him. But at this price tag and the way that these two fight, I think your boy is live. He has too much going against him. At one point, did two negatives make a positive? But he's three negatives. So what the fuck does that mean? I don't know. Fuck. Uh, put your balls on the table. To pick a CLD, I'll probably sprinkle Eric Anders by split decision and leave it at that. Or maybe yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll do the same thing. I just don't want to bet this fight at all. I'll put a small sprinkle on a crazy play and call it a day. Next fight of the night, I'll have a little more money on. We have Gene Matsumoto at minus 305 going up against Miles Johns at plus 245. Over under set at 2.5. Over 2.5 minus 350. Under 2.5 at plus 230. Let's go ahead and we'll start with Miles Johns. I'm not a big Miles Johns guy, to be honest with you. Miles Johns is 31 years old. Two spots. What are you doing, bud? He's 31 years old. He has good wrestling, but he very seldomly uses it because it makes him tired whenever he wrestles. So now he's been striking a lot. He gets way too gassed out and losing fights from wrestling and constantly grappling. So now he started taking supplements because he did pop for performance enhancing drugs, picogram style, like John Jones, but it was still in his system. And he's opted not to wrestle as much. He wants to use his stand up. And his stand up has gotten much better. I'll give the devil his due. But it's not better than Gene Matsumoto's. His striking's okay. His wrestling's good. His jujitsu's whatever. Level of competition's pretty decent. 81% takedown defense. He usually dictates where the fight takes place. But in his new and improved striking, he likes his leg kick. He likes his jab and he likes his left hook. That's it. That's all he throws. A jab, a leg kick, and a left hook. That is all he throws. It's so predictable. And it's at a very low pace, very low volume. I don't know. He's just not it, to be honest with you. He's just simply not it. He's serviceable. He's going to beat the right guy with the three moves of doom. But outside of that, if you give anyone with any semblance of talent, they're probably going to take him out. Enter Gene Matsumoto. Gene Matsumoto was someone that I wanted to fade. I thought his takedown defense was very questionable. I thought that he was a little hittable on the feet, and I thought he was an overrated young prospect. He's now 25 years old, and he's another one where I did not like him. But then I realized he was like 23 when I was talking shit, and he's getting better, and he's getting better, and he's getting better. And it's to the point where I can support him now. He's now 25 years old. He'll have a 2.5 inch reach advantage. He has good striking. He has good jujitsu. He's still rocking a 57% takedown defense, but as unlike Gabriela Hernandez, very urgent get up game. If you take him down, he's automatically springing back up to his feet. If he can't do that, he will create a scramble and then automatically get back up to his feet. He does everything he can to get back up to his feet. His cardio is good. His volume is high. He's a little hittable, but Miles Johns doesn't throw enough for it to even matter. His jiu-jitsu is better than Miles Johns. His striking is better than Miles Johns. His cardio is better than Miles Johns. Miles is a better wrestler, but you're gonna have to take this dude down like 11 times. Juan Archuleta took him down. Not Juan Archuleta. What am I saying? Dan Argueta took him down 9 times in 2 rounds. That's a lot of takedowns, but he kept getting up and ultimately got a submission. So when I say you're going to take him down like 11 times to win the fight, I'm not kidding. Dan took him down 9 in 2 rounds and still lost. So I don't think Miles Johnson can get 11 takedowns. Miles Johnson will completely gas out. Last time we saw him wrestle a lot was against Sexy Mexi, and he gassed out and got subbed in round 2. So the sub is live for Matsumoto. The knockout, I've seen John's hurt before. That's live. I've seen Matsumoto hurt before. Let's not act like that. The three moves of doom and that left hook couldn't put out Matsumoto. It could. I just think it's very rare. I think Matsumoto has even fought the better level of competition, fighting people like Rob Font and Brad Katona. So everything leans the young kid's way. That's who the UFC would want to win. And that's the way we're betting. The pick is Gene Matsumoto. The bet is Gene Matsumoto. Easy money. Him and Jocelyn Edwards might be like my favorite parlay. Next fight of the night is another one I keep going back and forth with. We have Andre Touchy-Feely at plus 195 going up against C-Rod, Christian Rodriguez at minus 240. Over 2.5 is minus 230. Under 2.5 at plus 175. Let's start with Touchy-Feely. Touchy-Feely loves to fight everyone close. He's 35 years old, so he's not getting any younger here. He has a 2.5 at reach advantage, which is nice. He has good striking. He has okay wrestling. He has okay jujitsu, but he does put his head in a lot of chokes. I've seen him guillotined or Darce choked multiple times. He just sticks his head in there. He'll sprinkle in a takedown here and there to win a close fight because most of his fights are very close point striking fights, and then he'll sprinkle in a takedown to try to steal the round. That's what he does. He does not hit that hard, but if you hit him, he can go down. He is a little chinny at times. If you have enough power, you can put him out. We've seen people like Cub Swanson hurt him. We've seen Nathaniel Wood drop him. We saw Dan Ige put him out cold. Uh, excuse me. We saw Joe Anderson Brito put him out cold, all in the first round, all within 30 seconds, honestly. So if you have enough power like Brito and Ige, you can put him out cold. Otherwise, you usually just stun him. That's kind of the power that I have C-Rod having. I don't think he's going to put him out cold. But he could definitely hurt him. Maybe club and sub, because again, Feely does get choked often. That's like isn't he's not getting arm barred or knee barred. He's either winning split decisions in a point fighting affair, or he's getting knocked out, or he's getting submitted with guillotines, with Darce chokes. Those are the things that happen with touchy Feely. On the other side, we have Christian Rodriguez. Rodriguez is 27 years old. He has good striking. He has good jiu-jitsu. 70% takedown defense, but a really urgent get-up game. He'll Granby. He'll just stand up. He'll give up his back, whatever he has to do to get back to the feet. His cardio's good. His level of competition is good. He is the O killer. If you were undefeated and you fight C-Rod, just go ahead and take the L. Ask Austin Bashi. Ask Cameron Simon. Ask Isaac Bulgarian. If you have an O, he's coming and it's got to go. If you're a vet, he seems to struggle. Uh, but at the end of the day, he'll sprinkle in a takedown here and there offensively to also try to win a round. I mean, he's a smart guy. He's a good guy. He's a really good fighter. In regards to the feet, I think it's 50-50. In regards to the grappling, I think it's an edge C-Rod. In regards to the age, it's C-Rod. In regards to the cardio, it's C-Rod. In regards to the wash wrestling, I think it's a wash. So I would think, yeah, C-Rod should win this fight. But the one problem I have is that C-Rod is a bantamweight. He missed weight 3 times in the row, and the UFC made him go up to 145. At 145, yes, he went out there and beat Isaac Dalgarian in a split decision. He went out there and he beat Austin Bashi, which is fine. He went out there and lost to Julian Erosa. He went out there and lost to Malquez Acosta. Why? Because they were too big. Andre Feely's not small. He is another big, lanky featherweight. So think C-Rod's more talented. C-Rod has more ways to win, but C-Rod's small. He's very small at 145, and that scares me. He's like 5'6", 145 pounds. I think he's so talented, but he's got to find a way back to bantamweight. I know everyone and their mother is going to say it, and I understand people's bodies change. I'm not body shaming him whatsoever. Please understand that. I'm fat as fuck. Like I'm not body shaming anyone, but I just think he's so much better when he's everyone's his size. It's an uphill battle at 145, and I think Feely's live for that reason alone. Um, and I look at these odds, they're not giving me enough. But Feely by split with all his split decisions on his record has my attention. The pick is going to be Christian Rodriguez. He's the better fighter. The bet, I might have to go Feely. And I probably bet Feely by split. It was like plus 1200 for Feely by split. And that seems very, very likely to me. That seems off. I'll probably also just have a bet on Feely. So the pick is going to be C-Rod, and I unfortunately will have a bet on Touchy Feely. Next fight of the night is another one where I'm probably just betting with my heart. We have Yasmin Lucindo at minus 200 going up against Angela Overkill Hill at plus 165. Over under set at 2.5. Over 2.5 minus 720. Under two. Hold on. Over 2.5 minus 720. Good Lord. Under 2.5 plus 450. Let's start with Overkill Hill. Angela's everyone's darling. She's 40 years old, though. Good Lord, she's old. She is 18 and 14, so she's essentially the Michael Johnson of the women's division. She has good striking. She has high volume. The fought the who's who. Great level of competition. 75% takedown defense, and that's huge because it used to be like 40%. It was really, really bad. There was a time when Ashley Yoder was going out there and taking her down at will. Like that's concerning. Now, there's people like Tabitha Ricci or Luana Pinheiro that are struggling to get her down to the ground. So things have changed considerably. Um, she's been sprinkling in takedowns here and there as of late. Her cardio is usually great, but she is starting to slow down. I mean, 40, what do you expect? But just be cognizant of that. She's not gassing, but she is slowing down in the third round, her last two fights. She gets taken down. Like when she gets taken down, I notice it's a lot of single legs. She can't seem to figure out a single leg. Double leg, her sprawl's okay. And upper body stuff, she seems to be okay. She usually, if you grab her body, she marches backwards towards the cage and uses the fence to just essentially, she's a Muay Thai striker. She's used to the clinch. So you have a body lock, she will automatically grab over ties, run her back to the cage, and then seemingly work herself to like a collar tie or to get underhooks and throw knees to the body and kind of work from there and stuff the takedown. She does it every single time. She doesn't just try to straight up reverse you. She doesn't try a hip toss. She will literally grab an overhook and sometimes she'll grab an underhook with the other arm, put her back to the cage, catch her bearings and then spin and turn or throw knees or whatever she has to do. It's very difficult to take her down with a body lock. That's very, very important in this matchup because Lucinda is all upper body. Her fight against Marina Rodriguez, every single takedown was upper body. Her fight against Amanda Lemos, every single takedown attempt was upper body. She loves to grab a body lock and get you down to the ground. She is a good striker, but outside of her first fight with Jasmine Niraghi, where she lost, she decided, fuck that. I lost striking. I'm a grappler now. And she grapples a lot. She has good jiu-jitsu. She has good wrestling. Her volume is extremely low now. She just doesn't throw at all when she's on the feet now. 54% takedown defense. She can offensively grapple. Defensively, she's a little bit of a liability. Level competition's okay. But she plays guard too. She's another one that when you get her down to the ground, there is no urgency to get up. Amanda Lemos won by literally getting on top of her and staying on top the entire time. That's what she did. And Amanda Lemos turned into a wrestler because she realized that Lucinda wants to go for triangles and go for arm bars and play jujitsu instead of having any sort of urgency to get back up. And that's terrible. But when she does get the takedown, she's position over submission. At this point, she doesn't even go for subs. She doesn't use any ground and pound whatsoever. She takes you down and she squeezes on for dear life, Torres Fini style. Um, it's interesting because that's going to result in a lot of split decisions where she's going to hold you down for 4 minutes. You're going to get up, you're going to outstrike her by like 10 strikes, and one judge is going to say you stole the round, and one judge is going to say the 4 minutes control time wins it. So I could also see this fight going to a split decision. I can see Angela Hill landing punches and landing knees until she gets taken down. Lucinda doing absolutely nothing, and the judges getting confused. Generally, Hill loses split decisions. So be cognizant of that. That's why the over is where it is. But Angela Hill's 40. She worked for the UFC. And I think they kind of lost a little faith in the way Lucinda's been fighting. So they have time for her to take another loss. She's only 23 years old. So for that reason, I'll pick Angela Hill. I'll bet Angela Hill again. I don't think she wins. But at this line with a fight that's probably going to go to a split, I'll take the plus damn near 170. Money's coming in on Lucindo. The line's just getting better for Hill. And at that point, I'm going to wait. And when it peaks, I'll ultimately place a bet on Hill. I don't expect it to win. But if it's a 50-50 fight, give me the plus money. Next up, we have our co-main event of the evening. We have Astro Boy Steve Erceg at minus 520 going up against short notice Ode Osborne at plus 390. No over-under as this fight was just rescheduled. Erceg was supposed to fight Hung Sung Park, who stepped in and got his ass whooped by Tyra last week instead. Is Ode as a short notice fighter going to come in and get his ass whooped? Probably. Ode is 33 years old. He has a 4.5 inch reach advantage. He has good striking. He has a ton of power. He has okay jiu-jitsu. It's pretty opportunistic. But outside of that, he's not the world's greatest wrestler. 65% takedown defense. He'll sprinkle into offensive takedown, but defensively, he's a liability. In regards to his cardio, he's a liability. He gasses out in every single one of his fights. In regards to his volume, he's a liability. He hardly throws anything under two significant strikes per minute at flyweight. In regards to his chin, he's a liability. He does not take a punch well at all. And most of his losses are by KO. So none of that is good. What I can say is that with this fight being on short notice, it's at 135, so that maybe that helps his durability. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it helps Steve Urseg's durability because Steve Urseg's also a little chinny. I've been saying that for years, and it's starting to get exposed here as of late. Steve Urseg's good, man. He's 12-4. He has good striking. He's 30 years old. He has good jiu-jitsu. He has okay wrestling. He has good volume. He has a great level of competition. He has decent power on him, pretty decent takedown defense, really great cardio. He has the complete package. Problem is he can get chin checked from time to time, and you can outvolley him a little bit like Brandon Moreno did. That's really what it comes down to. His volume and his chin. His volume is not bad at all. It's just at 125 pounds, these guys are averaging like 7 significant strikes per minute. If he's averaging four, he's at a UFC average, not a flyweight average, and that can get him into some trouble. Not going to be an issue when he's knocking out Matt Schnell or beating up David Deverak, who doesn't throw, or Alexandra Costa doesn't throw. There's other lightweights that throw less like him. But people like Moreno that are volume monsters, he's going to struggle with in a close fight. It was a very close fight. If he threw a little more, he wins that fight. People like Kai Kara France who hit really hard. You gotta have better striking defense, Steve. That's my only problem with Astro Boy. Please, keep your chin down, keep your hands up. He thinks it's optional. And he got chin checked. Alexandra Pantoja, close fight. He just got out grappled. There's nothing you can do. Pantoja does that to everyone. So he is the best fighter on a 3-fight losing streak currently. He's really, really, really good. He's still only 30 years old. The UFC does not want him to lose a fourth. They gave him Alex Perez, which is a fight he should win. They gave him Hung Sung Park, which is a fight he should win. Both of those they pulled. Now they're giving him chinny old man Ode Osborne. They're trying to get him a win. So for that reason, although I think Ode could go out there and starch him in round one, he can knock out anyone round one. I don't think he does. I think that Steve is going to play it safe, and Steve's going to get the job done. So the pick is Steve Erceg. The bet is Astro Boy Steve Erceg. And that takes us to the main event. If you haven't already, smash that like button. Give a follow over on Twitter, over on Instagram, over on TikTok, wherever there's social media. There's a Stats and Stacks podcast. We have Roman Dolidze at plus 275 going up against Anthony Fluffy Hernandez at minus 345, over 3.5 minus 120, under 3.5 minus 110, essentially a pick 'em. These are my boys. I like both of them. So let's just start with Roman Dolidze. Roman Dolidze is 37 years old. I don't like that. But he has world-class jiu-jitsu that everyone keeps forgetting about. World-class on the ground. Very, very, very good on the ground. Probably better than Fluffy, to be honest with you. His striking, not great, but he hits hard as fuck. Like, this dude is just strong. A ton of power. shockingly decent volume out of nowhere. He is still hittable. He does not believe in head movement either. He also thinks it's optional. His takedown defense is actually bad, 33%, but it's by design because he's so good on the ground that he doesn't care. If you take him down, he's excited. If you stay on the feet, he's excited. He does not care about wrestling. He prefers to strike though. Although he's like a world champion jiu-jitsu practitioner, he prefers to separate you from your consciousness. He's very durable. He's never been finished. But with all that power, he does have a tendency to slow down in all of his fights. So his cardio, not the greatest. It's improved a touch, but not the greatest. On the other side, we have Fluffy Hernandez, who is all cardio, all gas, no brakes. Fluffy Fernandez is 31 years old. He too has good jiu-jitsu and is kind of what he leans on. His striking's okay. His wrestling's actually not that good. It's okay. He's an okay wrestler. But again, he breaks you with cardio. His wrestling is bad round one. His wrestling's okay round two. His wrestling is good round three. His wrestling is great round four. His wrestling is unstoppable round five. It just comes down to he's a builder. In every single round, he's getting more energy somehow. And Roman and all his opponents are getting less energy and wilting until they have nothing left. He throws a ton of volume, and he breaks you. He's middleweight Marab, hand and point. That's what he is. Middleweight Marab. Sorry, middleweight Marab. Problem I have with him is his durability. He's very weak to the body. You can hit him in the face if you touch his body, like with anything. Like if you just take your pinky and tap it, he's getting curled over. We see a lot of people throwing knees and body kicks, knowing that he's weak to the body, and he does get hurt. And both of his career losses are by finish, due to a result of getting hit with the body. Kevin Holland kneed him in the body until he went down. Marcus Perez hurt him to the body and then ultimately choked him out. So, yeah, scares me a little bit because his durability is a concern, especially going against a power puncher with Roman. The good news is that Roman headhunts and he only throws punches in the face. He doesn't know body punches exist. So, that being said, Fluffy should be okay, or he should just shoot and not play around. I don't know what he's going to do. Roman's not a good matchup for Fluffy. Roman's good on the ground, and Roman hits really hard. Fluffy wants to get you down to the ground, and he does not want to get hit. So that's not a good matchup, honestly. This line is off, honestly. What I'm hoping is that Roman goes out there, probably wins round one, and then we can live bet Fluffy. That's the way I see it going down. Roman maybe even hurting Fluffy, line flipping, and Fluffy taking over. And round three, four, five, just book Fluffy. Like, not even close. I just need him to survive round one and two. I don't want to touch this pre-flop. I'll go ahead and I'll pick Fluffy, but I'll ultimately end up betting Fluffy after round one is probably what I don't want to wait too long. If he starts to take over in round two, I don't want to be late to the party. So the pick is Fluffy. The bet is going to be a live bet on Fluffy, or you can do what we always do, put him in every single parlay, and then just hedge with Roman. Plus 275 is a good hedge number, and you can do that as well. And that's UFC Vegas 109. I thought it was chalk heavy to where I only had like one dog, and now all of a sudden I'm on like four of them. So I don't know what the fuck is going on. This is so 50-50 on a lot of these things, and it's so chalky, it's almost unbettable. So at the end of the day, we're going to trust chalk, and then we're going to take sprinkles on some wild glory plays and hopefully come out on top. And at the end of the day, we're happy as long as Juice Box wins, baby. Let's get after it.